Okay, after much debate of what the color of the dress is, we are now going to get started. Is the dress black and blue or white and gold? That question is lighting up the internet in 2015. It all started when the Tumblr user, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip this part, and I'm going to go to, I don't know, swiped. That's what it was. I'm going to go to the numbers part. So 72% of internet users said white and gold, 28% swore it was blue and black. However, Prestonwood Christian Academy claims that the proportion of people who see white and gold is less than 72%. That is you. Y'all think it's less than that.
It is less than that.
You think it's less than that.
I think it's greater.
So, in a random sample, guys, stop talking. I'm trying to get through this. In a random sample of 783 students, 537 claimed that they saw the dress as white and gold. Is there convincing evidence, so that's how I know to do a hypothesis test, that the true proportion of people who see the dress as white and gold is less than the BuzzFeed articles claim?
Yes.
So, first step when I'm doing a write-up is I want to write my hypotheses. I'm going to put the null hypothesis and the alternative. The claim is what? P equals 0.72. Good. I'm trying to prove that wrong. So my claim, my alternative is what? Less than 0.72. What's the next thing I need to do? Define. So where P represents the true proportion of, let's see, internet users or people, either one of those work. People, not who saw, but who see dress as white and gold. Okay, conditions. I have these labeled for you. They won't be labeled for you on the test, so you can write them in, but you don't even have to write the labels if you don't want to. But it's the same conditions as the last unit, but instead of P hat, we are now using P. So the first condition is what?
It is representative. Is it like a random?
There is a random sample of 700 and how many? 83 students. The next one is choosing the normality. So NP equals 783 times, this is where it gets tricky. I'm putting 0.72 here, okay, because it is P. I'm no longer using P hat. So how do I know when to use P, when to use P hat? If you are given P, always use it. We had to resort to using P hat in the confidence interval because that's all we had. So if you are given P, then use it. I don't know what that is, so let's see, 783 times 0.72. 563.76, that's greater than or equal to 10. N1 minus P is 783 times 0.28. Remember to show all of your steps. When I was grading the free responses, I saw that some people were getting lazy. You must show all the steps. So, and also just showing this is not sufficient. I need to say what?
This is approximately
The sampling distribution is approximately normal. Don't say it is normal. I'm like, what's it?
I thought you said something about the 10% thing.
And then the third condition is what?
less than 10%.
Sample of 783 is less than 10% of the population. Because that's our population of interest. Where it says PC, Prestonwood Christian Academy students, is saying, like, I, as a PCA student, am claiming that the population of people is less than 72%. Okay, calculations. first thing you need to do, and this is something that a lot of people forgot, name that test. It is a 1 prop Z test.
Why did you have to name
Because you had to name it. 1 prop Z test.
So this whole unit is the same test? One proxy test?
Yes. So then I'm going to write the formula by itself. So Z equals P hat minus P over the square root P1 minus P over N. My P hat is what? It's 500 and
37 over 730.
which is what? 0.687 or 0.69 if you want to do it that way. So then I'm gonna change it to 0.69. And I'm gonna plug in, so 0.69 minus 0.72 over square root. Then 0.72, 0.28 over 782. Now, I'm not going to do this in my calculator, or I'm not going to actually work it out. I'm going to go to stat, test, and it is 5, stat test 5. You do not need to write this on your write-up. I had a lot of people that put stat test A on the test. Don't include this on the write-up. I'm just showing you this right now so you don't forget it.
Is that the only way to get the correct answer?
No, you can actually work it out.
If you wrote that, are we reading it myself?
No, you don't. You just don't need it. Okay, so P sub 0 is what your null hypothesis is. So P sub 0 is 0.72. Then my X value is my number of successes, so 537. My N is my sample size, so 782. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. Ignore the P sub 0 where it says prop. Just look at the sign. So, in order from left to right, it is not equal to, less than, and greater than. Don't look at the P sub 0 because some people get confused. Well, it's pointing at the P sub 0, so it's different, and they think they get it mixed up. It goes not equal to, less than, and then greater than. What type of test are we doing?
Less than.
A less than. So choose this option. Then hit calculate. And I get Z equals 6.846.
What in the world?
I got
I got negative 2.
Negative 2.
0.1.2.
Yeah, I did something wrong. Hold on.
No, I'm not good at calculators.
Hold on. Stat test
Did you click calculate?
5. Oh, I did 638. That's why. I don't know. I didn't change it.
83 instead of 82. Would that throw me off?
I typed in a number wrong. Negative 2.07.
1, 2.
074 or 39. The next number below that is your p-value. So even though it has a p with nothing on it, it is your p-value. I'm going to leave a little space. So I'm going to make 2 lines. I'm going to put 0.019, and here's why. Because it wants you to show how you got it in your calculator. So how I would do normal CDF, and then what would my calculator function be to get the p-value? So remember doing that a few slides ago?
Yes, it'd be
Negative 2 to 99.
Negative 2 to the 99 to negative 2.0739, 0, and 1. You can even check it if you want in the calculator just to see. Then the number below that, it gives you p hat and then n. And you don't need either of those because you've already calculated them. So that is all for calculations. Conclusion, I say it did not give me an alpha in the problem, but I do want to put my alpha in the calculations part. I'll just put it up above here. It didn't give me one, so I use what? 0.05. I'm going to highlight in the calculations part, if you want to get a highlighter out, the things that are absolutely necessary in the calculations portion, because I realize this is really hard to memorize all of it.
Where did you say alpha came from?
It wasn't there, so I included it. The things that are absolutely necessary that I will 100% grade. Name of the test. I will grade that you have p hat there. I will grade the z and the p-value and alpha. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But not norm CDF.
The other things are like those 5 things AP graders grade every single time, no matter what. Now, in years past, the other things that I have included have either been graded or not graded, and it's been different every year. I know that makes 0 sense, and it still makes 0 sense to me. However, some years they like to grade the formula by itself, some years they don't. It is like up to their discretion every year. So I include everything, and I hope that you will too when you take the AP exam, but the things that I have highlighted are non-negotiables that they grade every single year. Does that kind of make
Did you
sense?
just assume that it was 0.05?
Yes, because they did not give it to me. Then the conclusion, so I write since the p-value is it less than or greater than alpha? So I'm comparing this 0.09 to this 0.05. So since the p-value is less than alpha, or you can write it out in words, if it's less than, I do what? What decision do I make?
We have substantial statistics to reject.
But I say I reject HO. That's my first sentence. So my first sentence is, you connect the p-value to alpha, I reject. That is sentence 1. Then I say there is sufficient evidence to suggest, and then I put my alternative hypothesis in words. So what am I trying to prove?
That there are less than 72% of people who believe that.
So there's evidence to suggest that less than 72% of people see white/gold. Okay, the next 3 are like follow-up questions that I see oftentimes on a free response. So I'm going to kind of go into those. I'm going to do it on a blank. So the first question says, what would the appropriate confidence level be based on your hypothesis test? So the connection between like confidence intervals and hypothesis test is all based on your alpha. So based on the alpha given. So this was a lower tail test, right? Like a less than. So I'm going to draw my normal curve. My alpha was here at 0.05. So if I got a p-value anywhere in this area, then I would reject. Your confidence interval is going to match that alpha where I have 5% on each tail. So 5 and 5. So to find the appropriate confidence level based on your test, you're going to take 1 minus 2 times alpha, because there is 97% So 1 minus 2 times 0.05 gives me 90%, or 0.9. So if it is a one-tail test, like a greater than or a less than, then to find your confidence level, you do 1 minus 2 alpha. If it is a not equal to test, then 0.025, 0.025 would go on either side. If alpha were 0.05, you would have 95% in the middle. So it's just 1 minus alpha. So you might want to write that in the notes, like out to the side somewhere. If it's a less than or greater than test, you do 1 minus 2 alpha. If it's a not equal to test, you do 1 minus alpha. So we've decided that a 90% confidence level is appropriate. If I want to, so then it says calculate my confidence interval. We're not going to go through all the steps, but we're going to go to stat test A, 1 prop Z interval. I'm going to erase this stuff right here. 1 prop Z interval. And what do you notice when you do that? Okay, so then it says create a confidence interval. So I'm going to go to the 1 prop Z interval,
And then just write that down.
which is stat test A, if you have forgotten. You'll notice that your X and your N are already in there. 537 and 782, but I'm going to change my confidence level to be 0.9.
Which we got from doing that thing we just did.
Yes, so
Yes.
0.6594,
It supports it.
0.714. What do you notice about this?
It's under 72%.
That it is under 72%, because so the last question, how does it support? So since 0.72 is not contained in my interval, I have evidence to suggest less than 72% of, yes, you have to write this, people see white and gold.
So it is like a 50.
So this was A, no, B, C.
So I still